Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English speaking podcast. This podcast is for beginners. Very easy English, very clear English, and very friendly English. My name is Isabella. I am your English teacher. And today we have a very special and very interesting topic. Today's topic is Let's Talk About Your Year. This topic is very important because everyone has a year to talk about. Everyone has memories, everyone has good moments, and sometimes not so good moments. And today, I am here with James.
Hello, Isabella. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here again.
James, are you ready to talk about your year?
Yes, I think I am ready. But I feel a little nervous.
That is okay, James. Many people feel nervous when they talk about their life. But don't worry, we will speak slowly, we will use easy English, and we will enjoy the conversation. So, James, let me ask you the first question. When you think about this year, what is the first word that comes to your mind?
The first word. I think the first word is busy.
Busy. That is a very common word. Why do you say busy?
Because this year, I was busy almost every day. Work, family, learning English, personal goals. Sometimes I felt like I had no time.
I understand. Many people feel the same way. James, let me help our listeners. When we say busy, it means you have many things to do, you have little free time. James, did you feel tired this year?
Yes, very tired. Some days I woke up tired. I went to work tired, and I came home tired.
That sounds very honest, and honesty is very important in English speaking. But James, let me ask you something important. Even if the year was busy, do you think it was a good year or a bad year?
I think it was a good year, but also a hard year.
That is a beautiful answer. A year can be good and hard at the same time. Can you tell us one good thing that happened this year?
Yes. One good thing is I started learning English seriously.
That is amazing. And you are doing great, James. How do you feel about your English now compared to the beginning of the year?
At the beginning of the year, I was very shy. I was afraid to speak. I was afraid to make mistakes. Now, I still make mistakes, but I am not so afraid.
That is a big improvement. Let me explain something to our listeners. Making mistakes is normal. Making mistakes is good because mistakes help us learn. James, do you remember a moment this year when you felt proud of yourself?
Yes, I do. One day, I spoke English with a foreigner. It was not perfect English, but we understood each other. After that conversation, I felt very proud.
That is a very strong moment. Listeners, this is important. You do not need perfect English. You need communication. James, besides English, what else did you learn this year?
I learned to be more patient. This year taught me patience.
Patience is a very powerful lesson. Why did you need patience?
Because not everything went fast. Some goals took time. Some plans did not work. At first, I was angry. Later, I understood life is not a race.
That is very deep, James. This year taught you life lessons, not only skills. Let me ask you another question. Did you travel anywhere this year?
Not very far, but I visited my relatives more often.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel connected. Sometimes we forget family because we are busy. This year reminded me that family is important.
That is a beautiful reminder. Listeners, when you talk about your year, you can talk about work, study, family, feelings, lessons, dreams. James, was there something this year that you wanted to change?
Yes, I wanted to change my habits.
Which habits?
Sleeping late, using my phone too much, not resting enough.
Did you change them?
Not completely, but I started.
Starting is very important. James, let me ask you something very honest. Were there moments this year when you felt sad?
Yes, of course. Can you talk about it? Sometimes I felt lost. I felt like I was working hard, but results were slow.
That feeling is very common. Listeners, if you feel this way, you are not alone. James, what helped you in those moments?
Talking to people and reminding myself why I started.
That is very important advice. James, when you look at this year now, what are you most thankful for?
I am thankful for health. I am thankful for learning. And I am thankful for opportunities.
Gratitude changes everything. Now, James, let's imagine something. If you could talk to yourself at the beginning of the year, what would you say?
I would say, relax, trust the process, and don't be so hard on yourself.
That is a powerful message. Listeners, you can ask yourself the same question. James, do you have any goals for the next year?
Yes, I do. I want to speak English more confidently. I want to take better care of myself, and I want to grow step by step.
Those are very realistic goals, and realistic goals are the best goals. James, let me ask you one more question before we continue. If you had to describe this year in one sentence, what would it be?
This year was not easy, but it made me stronger.
That sentence says a lot. And we are just getting started, James. There is still so much to talk about. James, earlier you talked about feeling busy and tired this year. I want to go a little deeper now. When you were very tired, did you ever think about giving up on your goals?
Yes, honestly, yes. There were days when I wanted to stop learning, stop trying, just rest and forget everything.
That is very honest, and many people feel the same way. What stopped you from giving up?
I remembered my reasons, why I started, why I wanted a better future. And sometimes I remembered my family.
Family can be a strong motivation. James, let's help our listeners again. When we say motivation, we mean the reason why we do something. James, did your motivation change during the year?
Yes, it changed. At first, my motivation was success, money, a better job. Later, my motivation became peace, confidence, feeling good about myself.
That is a very mature change. Sometimes life teaches us that inner peace is more important than outside success. James, let me ask you about your daily life. What was a normal day like for you this year?
I woke up early. I went to work. I solved problems. I came home tired. In the evening, sometimes I studied English. Sometimes I was too tired.
That sounds very realistic. Listeners, this is real life English. Not perfect, not fancy, just real. James, do you think you managed your time well this year?
Not always. Sometimes I wasted time. Sometimes I overworked. I am still learning balance.
Balance is very important. This year, did you learn anything about yourself that you did not know before?
Yes, I learned that I am stronger than I thought. Even when I was tired, I continued.
That is a powerful discovery. James, were there moments this year when you felt happy for no big reason?
Yes, simple moments. Drinking tea in the morning, listening to music, a quiet evening.
Those moments are very valuable. Listeners, happiness does not always come from big events. Sometimes it comes from small things. James, what about friendships? Did your friendships change this year?
Yes, they did. Some people left, some people came, and I learned that not everyone stays forever.
That lesson can be painful, but also necessary. James, how did you feel when some people left?
At first, I felt sad. Then, I felt peaceful, because I understood that some connections end naturally.
That is emotional growth. Let me ask you something else. Did you ever compare yourself to others this year?
Yes, too much.
And how did that make you feel?
Sometimes inspired, sometimes disappointed.
Comparison is dangerous. Listeners, compare yourself only with your past self. James, if you look at yourself 1 year ago, what is different now?
I am calmer, I think more before I react, and I believe in myself more.
That is real progress. James, let's talk about mistakes. Did you make mistakes this year?
Many.
And can you give an example?
I trusted some people too quickly. I ignored my health sometimes. I pushed myself too hard.
And what did you learn from those mistakes?
To listen to myself, to slow down, and to choose carefully.
Mistakes are teachers. James, was there a moment this year when you felt truly alive?
Yes, when I realized that I am changing. Not fast, but steadily.
That realization can change everything. Listeners, change does not have to be fast. It just has to be real. James, do you feel ready for the next year?
I feel more ready than before. Not perfect, but ready to try.
Trying is enough. James, imagine the next year for a moment. What do you hope to feel more?
Peace, confidence, and clarity.
Those are beautiful hopes. And James, there is still one important thing we have not talked about yet. Your dreams. James, you mentioned your dreams. Dreams are very important. Sometimes we forget them because of daily life. Let me ask you something simple. When you were a child, what did you dream of becoming?
When I was a child, I dreamed of becoming someone respected. Not famous, not rich, just respected.
That is a beautiful dream. Do you think that dream changed?
It changed a little. Now I want to respect myself first.
That is very powerful. Listeners, self-respect is the foundation of everything. James, this year, did you move closer to that dream?
Yes, slowly. I learned to say no. I learned to set boundaries.
That is not easy. How did people react when you said no?
Some people understood, some people did not.
And how did that make you feel?
Uncomfortable at first, but peaceful later.
Peace often comes after discomfort. James, let's talk about fear. What was your biggest fear this year?
Failure.
Failure is a very common fear. What does failure mean to you?
It means trying and not succeeding. It means disappointment.
Did you fail at something this year?
Yes, some plans did not work, some goals were delayed.
And what did you learn from those failures?
That failure is not the end, it is information.
That is a very healthy way to see it. Listeners, failure teaches us what works and what does not. James, let me ask you about confidence. Do you feel more confident now than before?
Yes, not loud confidence, quiet confidence.
Quiet confidence is strong confidence. What helped you build that confidence?
Keeping promises to myself. Small promises, small wins.
That is excellent advice. James, did this year change how you see success?
Yes, before, success was money and status. Now, success is balance and growth.
That is a big shift. Listeners, success looks different for everyone. James, what role did English play in your year?
English gave me hope. It made me feel connected to the world.
Language opens doors. James, if someone listening feels stuck right now, what would you say to them?
I would say,
You are not late. You are not broken. Just keep going.
That message is very important. James, was there a habit this year that truly helped you?
Reflection. Thinking about my day. Thinking about my actions.
Reflection helps us grow. James, let me ask you something very personal. Did you forgive yourself for past mistakes this year?
I am learning. Not fully, but more than before.
Self-forgiveness takes time. Listeners, be patient with yourself. James, do you feel proud of this year?
Yes, even with the mistakes.
That is maturity. James, let's imagine the next year again. If the next year had one word, what word would you choose?
Alignment.
That is an interesting word. What does alignment mean to you?
Living in a way that matches my values.
That is a strong intention. James, do you believe people can change in 1 year?
Yes, not completely, but meaningfully.
I agree. Change is not about becoming someone new. It is about becoming more yourself. James, before we continue, I want you to think about this question. If this year could speak to you, what would it say?
It would say, "Thank you for not giving up."
That is very emotional. And James, there is one last area we haven't explored deeply yet, your relationships with yourself. James, relationships with others are important, but the relationship with yourself is the most important one. This year, how did you talk to yourself when things went wrong?
At the beginning of the year, I was very hard on myself. I blamed myself a lot.
What kind of things did you say to yourself?
You are not doing enough. You should be better. You are too slow.
That inner voice can be very heavy. Did that voice change during the year?
Yes, slowly. Now I try to speak to myself like I speak to a friend.
That is a big change. Listeners, your inner voice matters. It can push you forward or hold you back. James, do you remember a moment when you chose kindness toward yourself?
Yes. One day I was very tired. Instead of pushing myself, I rested. And I did not feel guilty.
That is self-respect. James, many people feel guilty when they rest. Why do you think that is?
Because we think rest means laziness, but it does not.
Exactly. Rest is part of growth. James, let's talk about regrets. Do you have any regrets about this year?
Yes. I regret not listening to my body sometimes. I regret ignoring signs of stress.
And what did those regrets teach you?
To slow down earlier, not when it is too late.
That lesson is very valuable. Listeners, regrets are not enemies. They are guides. James, was there something you wanted to do this year but did not do?
Yes. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to try new things. But fear stopped me.
Fear of what?
Fear of wasting time. Fear of making wrong decisions.
Fear often pretends to protect us, but sometimes it limits us. James, do you think next year you will act differently?
I think I will take more small risks, not big jumps, small steps.
That is very realistic. James, let me ask you about stress. How did you handle stress this year?
Not very well at first. Later, I learned to pause, to breathe, to step back.
That is progress. Listeners, stress management is a skill. James, did this year change your priorities?
Yes. Health became more important. Peace became more important. Meaning became more important.
That shows growth. James, what did this year teach you about time?
That time is limited and very precious.
How did that realization affect you?
I became more selective with people, with activities.
That is wisdom. James, was there a moment this year when you surprised yourself?
Yes, when I kept going, even when motivation was low.
Discipline over motivation. That is powerful. James, let's talk about hope. Did you ever feel hopeless this year?
Yes, briefly.
What brought hope back?
Small progress, seeing improvement even tiny.
Hope often comes quietly. James, if you could remove one belief from your mind this year, what would it be?
The belief that I must do everything perfectly.
Perfection is exhausting. Listeners, progress is better than perfection. James, do you feel more connected to yourself now?
Yes, I understand myself better.
That is a beautiful outcome of a year. James, imagine you were writing a letter to this year. What would you thank it for?
For lessons, for strength, for clarity,
And what would you forgive it for?
for pain, for confusion.
That balance is important. James, before we continue, I want to ask you something that many people avoid. What part of yourself did you accept this year?
My limits.
Accepting limits is not weakness. It is self-awareness. James, and there's still something important we haven't talked about yet. Your unfinished goals and what they mean to you now. James, you mentioned unfinished goals. Many people think unfinished goals mean failure, but that is not always true. How do you see your unfinished goals now?
I see them as reminders, not of weakness, but of direction.
That is a very healthy perspective. Unfinished goals show us where our heart still is. James, do those goals still matter to you?
Yes, some of them matter less, some of them matter more, and that is okay.
That is more than okay. That is growth. Listeners, it is normal for goals to change with time. James, if you look back at this year as a whole, what did it give you the most?
Awareness about myself, about my limits, about my values.
Awareness is the beginning of change. James, do you think this year prepared you for the next one?
Yes, not by making life easier, but by making me stronger.
That is often how preparation works. James, one final reflection. If someone listening right now is thinking about their year and feels disappointed, what would you want them to understand?
That 1 year does not define a life, and progress is not always visible.
That message matters. A year is not a judgment, it is a chapter. Some chapters are loud, some are quiet, but all of them move the story forward. James, when you think about this year now, what feeling stays with you?
Acceptance. Not everything was perfect, but it was real.
And real experiences are the ones that shape us the most. This conversation is not about having the best year, it is about understanding your year. And when you understand it, you carry its lessons forward, quietly, honestly, step by step.